everybody.
This is Mitch.
And Marcus.
And we're sitting in the parking lot.
Yes, people in line. We're in the bike line, obviously, with all of these lines, just like it was before. All these lined up in vehicles. Everybody is lining up to get back.
We are heading to Nova Scotia right now.
Yes.
We're in Newfoundland, and we are just about to embark.
Where are we in Newfoundland?
We are in Port
That's correct.
and it's been a long ride from, where did we come from?
Corner Brook this morning. We slept
were
in
Corner Brook, and it was a lot of rain, and trust me, that was quite an experience. Our seats were wet, but the good thing is we had long
We had our rain
gear.
gear on.
We had rain gear.
We were ready.
So we had the top and the bottom piece, which is like the pants, and then the top piece, which is like the jacket. So I was wearing that over my motorcycle jacket. Yeah. And so this is me today.
Look at you.
So that's me today, and I didn't look quite sexy as I do now. Anyways, that's for another.
She looks sexy all the time.
Anyways, I look like
She looked
like
like
somebody going to, you know, like when you see either Eskimos or like those persons who are going into space, how they're clad and they look like really thick, like white. That's what I looked like this morning when I had my suit. It's almost like a snowsuit, but it's a rain gear, as you probably know what that is. So yeah, and it was pouring a little bit in Corner Brook, and then when we head on the highway, we had a break. And one of the things I was kind of concerned about was as we passed the tractor trailers and so on, that they were going to splash us, but somehow we didn't. Well, maybe they did, but we didn't feel it because we had a rain gear.
We didn't even have any. I think we had one truck pass us, like in our, you know, like in a passing lane where they're passing us. But we moved on a good clip. There was lots of trucks coming east, but you know, I have a big windshield in the front of the bike, so it really yeah, you can. I don't know if you can see it in front. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, but believe it or not, that thing protects greatly. I can hide right behind that, and if it starts to rain really tremendously, I can kind of duck down, if you will. And when the trucks come,
but I had this.
Yeah, she has that for sure. She's
so
in better
it was
shape than I am.
pelting rain on the surface, but it's good. And also, when you're on a motorcycle and if you don't have like a face shield, you're prone to having sticks and insects and different things flying in your face. So
well, not with the windshield. With the windshield,
I mean, like this protects you if you're in the back seat and you don't have anything, because I felt things flying on me, and I'm like, what is Mark doing? But I realized it wasn't him. It wasn't his fingers wandering. It was just sticks like hitting me all over the place.
Fingers wandering at 110 kilometers an hour? What the heck? I'm good, but I'm not that good.
I'm just playing.
Fingers wandering. That's a good title of a new video. Fingers wandering.
I'm very poetic, by the way.
I see that.
Some random things just come out of my thoughts as I speak.
Yes, I see that.
But yeah, so it's. I was so happy that I got this.
Oh, by the way, if anyone's been riding 2 Up like we do, and you've had a fingers wandering episode, please comment in the comments. I'm not sure what that exactly means, but she seems to know. But anyhow.
Yeah, so that was the experience coming down. But you know, the good thing is by the time we hit close, maybe about 15 kilometers away from Port aux Basques.
Oh, way more. Oh, way
or even before that, maybe 30 or so. We were favored with some mix of sun and clouds, and
the sun, yes, but it was raining all the like it went from Corner Brook to Port aux Basques is about 220 kilometers. But for the first for the first 20 minutes, it was pouring down rain when we left Corner Brook. But by the time, like Michelle said, by the time we hit the highway and the wind, and again with the wind flying over the windshield and so on and so forth, it wasn't really bad. It more was just sprinkling on us. So it rained, for the sake of conversation, probably about an hour and a half. And then by the time, like Michelle said, we got in about 30 minutes outside of Port aux Basques. The road started to dry. You could see the temperature change. It was warm all the way. Never had any problems that way.
So that means we got a chance to dry off. So we didn't have to physically or manually dry off or rain gear. We just needed to have, you know, like natural drying from the wind, and basically we just put our stuff away in our gear pack, as we showed you in the previous video. So it's a very good experience in terms of going through different weathers, whether cold or rain or
actually,
warm,
speaking of that and going places,
you know,
I can
different
show you Michelle's. I'll let you see Michelle's helmet. She has all the stickers of the some of the fun places that we've been. Not every place. Here I'll show you. So there's Mount Washington, which she climbed, and here is White Sand, or not White Sands, pardon me, Whiteface Mountain outside Lake Placid, Signal Hill in Newfoundland. Stop moving around so we can't see them. Gee, she's like a child. She's like a child.
I'm excited.
Signal Hill, Newfoundland, and then on the other side we got Rocky Harbor. We were there. She got the Cabot Trail in Cape Breton, and many more. It's just there's only so many stickers you can put in your helmet, so
I was just doing the happy dance. You guys have never seen my happy dance, have you?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just because she said it, I'm gonna let her do her own. Here we go. All right.
So when you see me do that, you know I'm happy.
All right. She's that's gonna be the heading of another video.
Yeah,
Michelle's
that's my happy dance, because
dance.
it's almost like that adrenaline rush, and everything is like happening on the inside, and you just can't contain it. So I shake it.
Oh, did we tell them about what happened to us at from the gentleman Angus who held onto our bike?
Oh yes, we didn't talk about it. I was gonna talk about it. I was thinking about
we'll do. Actually, we'll come briefly. Just we talk about it. If anyone from Newfoundland is gonna watch this video, just an FYI, it's not a stereotype to say Newfoundland people are probably the kindest, most generous people. Not just people from Newfoundland, but the Maritimes, Newfoundland, people from down home. That's what they call them. You know, they're awesome, genuinely friendly and kind people, and
courteous, very courteous and hospitable.
But yes, very hospitable. And the reason I bring it up is when we went to Fortune, Newfoundland, we were getting on the ferry to go to St. Pierre. Well, when you come in there, for those of the people who come, you don't have to take your vehicle over. And of course, we were apprehensive of taking the motorcycle over, being the fact that for several reasons we can get into another time. But long story short, we come in when we bought our tickets for the ferry. We went over, and a gentleman came up and introduced himself as the guy who runs the parking lot. One of two parking lots there, and his name is Angus. And shout out to you, Angus. You're amazing. So, long story short, Michelle started inquiring about the safety of our bike, because being the bike that is obviously easily accessible, and maybe people can break into our tour packs and stuff, because we didn't take all our gear because we didn't have all. I mean, we had all this stuff. But long story, so he says to Michelle, he goes, "Well, you know what? I'm going to do something for you that I don't normally do for anybody." He goes, "My house is right around the corner." He goes, "I got to build out an extra garage. I'm going to park your guy's bike in your garage." At first, admittedly, being a city slicker, I don't trust anybody. So I said, this doesn't sound good at all. I don't like. I mean, and I didn't think anything negative of him. I just was very apprehensive of anyone going out of their way. We're 2,000 miles from home, so to speak. And here is a stranger.
I'll tell you a little bit about Mark in that sense.
Yeah, but hold on. Can I just tell a story, please?
Okay, go ahead.
Anyhow, so he offers to put the bike in the garage, and I said, apprehensively, I agree. And I said, okay, great. Michelle was far more trusting than I was, and she's like, give the. I wasn't saying anything negative, but I was just like, I was just getting the creeps. It was just way too nice, way too. People were being, and admittedly, I started to bristle a little bit because of it, but that's okay. So we go. He takes the bike and put it in. I didn't go on about it. I just lit it, hooked it up. He hooked the bike, fine, left it at that. There, we returned, and he said everything will be just the way it was. And I joked. We got out of the boat. He shows up, and he says to us, pardon me. We saw him in the pickup truck. We were only literally parked 2 blocks over. So we jumped in his pickup, and I jokingly said to him, I said, "So Angus," I said, "So did you sell my bike for parts?" And he goes, "Well, I did better than that. You're going to be surprised when you get to the garage." And I went, "Uh-oh, here we go. This is going to be interesting." So, but backing up for a second, before when we parked the bike in the garage, he had this some sort of cleaning solution. He said, "Oh, your bike your bike could probably really shine if you use this type of wax, whatever. And I said, oh, okay, that's nice. And I just kind of dismissed it really quickly. So we roll up to the garage, open it up, and I quote, he had washed, cleaned, waxed my bike like brand new. And I'm not kidding. Front to back, top to bottom, front to back. I was speechless. And what a dose of humility and shame I felt. Just not, I don't know if it's shame is too strong of a word, but I felt I was like, there are good people. And I begged him, and I mean begged him to take some money, buy him dinner. He wouldn't hear of it. And he just said, his actual words were, that's the way it is here in Newfoundland, Mark. Welcome to Newfoundland. And he goes, we just do things. And he goes, I had some spare time, and I thought, it'd be a nice thing to do for you. So God bless you guys. You guys are nice people, and I just thought you guys were different the day I met you. So he's like, so I treated you like family. And I said, wow. And I didn't even really speak. I was just speechless. Michelle, so and it like it was just and oh, wait for all that Michelle, the even more cooler, not really cooler, but even more. So as we were packing up, and we were opening up putting everything away, and then he says to Michelle, or he says to me, he says, Mark, do you drink? I said, no, sir, I don't. He goes, oh, I thought he was going to offer me a beer or something. I said, no, I'm good. I said, my wife does it. She likes to drink wine. He goes, wine? And then you can tell your part.
So back up a bit. So even when, Mark was kind of feeling apprehensive, the little part I wanted to put in, Mark was like, oh, this is so, what word did you say?
No, you can't just use that story. We had creepy vibes. No, listen,
creepy.
we had creepy vibes from a restaurant we went into. There was a weird situation with an older man and a younger girl.
So that lingered, and then, but we're not going to talk about that part.
But by the way, for measure, we both felt creepy about it. Even Michelle was like,
in the restaurant.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that part.
So
then let's go back to the guy with the because that's the one that.
But what I'm getting at, the reason I brought it up was because you had mentioned I started feeling creepy. I didn't start feeling creepy with Angus. I started feeling creepy when we were at that restaurant with the older man and the young girl there.
And there's more to the story.
Yeah, but we won't go into that. But so I'm already feeling apprehensive, and then we meet Angus, and then you'll hear the rest of the story.
So then when we met Angus, one of the things that I asked Angus, I don't think you mentioned this part, was, so why did you help us? Do you normally? He goes, I just have a feeling, I just know people. And I said, and how did you know that we were looking for the place? Oh, I've been doing this for a long time. So the place that Angus works at is actually his sister's place. So she owns like the restaurant, the parking services, all these different different services. Even the boutique is there, all these different things. So he's one of the workers there, and I think it's just, and he's 71 years old.
He works for his sister. He's retired.
Works for his sister, yeah, and he's retired, but he works for his sister. So, and I said, so why did you choose to help us? He goes, oh, I just know. So when you look, I think he said he was in the army too, right? So he knows.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah, I think he was.
He just says, when you, I could read you guys when I saw you. I know good people when I see you.
So then I looked at him too, and I realized the way he even looked at us and stuff, because you can tell when people look kind of shady, their eyes, you can see it in their eyes, like he was very focused, and he was just, and even when we came that day, he knew right away. He says, you guys going to the ferry? Oh, all you have to do is this, and he was so willing to help. Secondly, when we came in and he helped us and whatever, even when we're leaving, after we got the wine and stuff, when we're leaving, he left us at his house, and he says, lock up when you, so the wine situation. So when he was giving us the wine, we didn't even know. So with regards to the wine, when Mark said that he doesn't drink, he said, but my wife drinks wine, whatever. He went into his fridge and he took, and I saw that he had 2 bottles. So it looks like he, I was saying to myself, maybe he bought it or whatever. He said he made them himself.
He makes his own homemade wine.
And I noticed that he had 2 of the same, and he says, see my like a label on it, And apparently, I think he said berries or something.
Yeah, he makes it all these berries that he get it. If you know anything about homemade winemaking in Newfoundland, we never heard anything about it. But if you know anything about it, he explains he explains about the berries and all that stuff.
And there was another guy
he
who
freezes
told us
them
about
and so
too.
on and so forth.
Yeah. So guys, the moral of the story is the fact that he went out of his way. He not only helped us to find our way around, told us what we need to do, brought us to his home, got us in his garage, allowed us to park our bike. Then he cleaned the bike and it was spotless. Then
Not only did he clean it, he waxed it. He
Right.
waxed it and polished it, all my chrome. Matter of fact, the bike's all dirty, but you can still see how shiny the bike is. Look at how shiny everything. He did it all. He did everything. Did all the bike. He was amazing.
And another thing, the space where he was limited to.
He had a tiny garage, and he
didn't have enough space.
He was
move
quite
around.
a stout fella, so in order to do all the work on my bike, he had to like crouch down and do it. And sorry Angus, but he had a bit of a big belly, and so there's no way in the world he did this so leisurely and
even
plainly.
in areas where you would not expect, it was shiny, like the
he did
side,
everything.
the metal, that area where you see the, all the different intricacies, the bolts and stuff. Everything was shiny, and again going back to, because we don't, when we're reiterating or retelling a story, it's so exciting and it's hard to kind of go in chronological order sometimes. But the point of the matter is, he went out of his way and he gave us the wine, which was another thing that he did. He went out of his way.
He made his homemade wine, and it was cold in his fridge.
And he gave it to us.
And he didn't give
whole
us
bottle.
no tiny little shooter thing.
It's a big bottle. So you see my head?
It's a
like this.
40 ounce, I guess what's called 40 ounces or 60 ounces. A big, huge. I'll let Michelle take a picture of it later and put it in, and she could put it in a video or anything. But anyhow,
the
all
point
we want
is the moral of the story is that sometimes, and another thing we were concerned about too, which was kind of, I guess, maybe caused the apprehension, was when we went to the border area where we needed to board the ferry. One of the rules, and I understand it, but I know it's not necessarily something that everybody.
No, it was a Hotel
right?
California situation. You open the door, and there's 3 security officers, not customs, but 3 security officers standing there. And what you do is there's one of those like little ribbons where they close it shut and they go, okay, can't go beyond this ribbon or whatever. Well, she goes, oh, you guys can come in, but once you pass this ribbon and sit in these chairs, you're not allowed out. And I thought she goes, even if you want to smoke, you're not allowed out. I'm like, why? She goes, you're just not allowed out, back out. And I said to Michelle, I was like, this is weird. And I said, hold on, when does the ferry come? Oh, it'll be here in 2 hours. I said, well, I'm not going inside. She goes, well, if you come in here, you gotta stay. You cannot leave. And she wouldn't tell us why, but she just said that's the way it is. And these aren't customs. That's just their weird security. So I was creeped out by that. I was creeped out by everything, but I mean, that's okay.
But I guess you know what happens sometimes when you're not used to an environment, you're not used to certain rules, you're not used to certain structure or whatever. Sometimes that can happen, and for the most part, I was He said it already. I was a little bit more like, okay, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Like going with the flow. But he was kind of like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. And I said, and he said this, which, some people are like that. When you don't have control of a situation, it tends to give us a little bit more anxiety or apprehension and so on and so forth. So I know there are other people like that out there. But I guess when you travel in different environments, to different countries, to different areas, there's rules, there's different situations that you have to face. So it's good to be skeptical, but it's also good to be informed, because we were not aware of a lot of things.
We've never been there. We didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know a lot of things, so we were kind of learning as we go. But the experience, there's a word that says experience teaches wisdom. When you know, then you know exactly how to apply the information that you have, or the experience teaches you how to do that. So,
Anyways, but we got to get going here. We're up on 20 minutes.
This was an awesome experience going to Newfoundland, and even going across the border, and even meeting some of the people we met. We learned so much.
Oh, yeah.
Going through the different towns, the different you know,
There's a lot
cities.
more to say about it. We haven't even touched the surface.
You'll see different videos when we went.
But anyhow,
to
it was
different
our last day. It was
Yeah.
our second to last day in Newfoundland, and all I really wanted to do is give a shout out to Angus, and just to give a shout out to people of Newfoundland. Period. And what a completely different culture, even removed from Nova Scotia and the Maritime area, different. But Newfoundland was a whole new experience, and what a way to end our trip on that note. So,
Yeah, so
God
today
bless
we're
you, Angus.
leaving. We're getting across
Yes, we are.
back to Nova Scotia today, and so
right.
we're about to board the marine.
Yeah, the Marine Atlantic. So
Yeah.
we're the ferry. All right,
Yeah.
guys. So
So as usual, we always say,
Okay.
let's keep it real.
yep. All right, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.